guys, so I just wanted to create a brief video to go over some of the helpful tools that I put into a shared drive for the 7th grade advisories. I'm just going to share my screen. This is my personal folder. I made a copy of all of them, but I included almost all of these resources here about goals and GPA in a folder on our shared drive titled data and goals. So for me and my advisory, Monday is always a set routine of checking your grades, missing work, and calculating your current GPA for that moment in time, like a snapshot, and then setting a short-term week-long SMART goal. And so since we are sort of almost halfway through the quarter, I have started my advisory sort of like piece by piece because our advisories do fly by. We're still kind of getting to know each other, but I am kind of slowly integrating some of these activities. So the first thing that we start with, the first week that I do this, I give them the SMART goal survey, and we go through this together. So there's a question for each of the letters in the acronym SMART, and then we set a simple one together. At this point, they can do it based on their grades. They can do it like based on catching up on missing work. That's what we did this week. But last week they didn't have really too many grades showing up in Skyward, so we made it just about writing in their agenda or keeping track of their assignments somehow. So we go through this form. For the first few weeks we do it together, but as they get the hang of it, they are figuring out what their own goals should be, and the trick is just to get them to make very specific ones. So something that focuses on one particular class that they're struggling in and catching up on that class, rather than just I'm going to focus in all my classes, because that's just not specific enough. Then the next thing that I had them do, so once we did a week of just setting a goal, I shared with them this goal tracker. So this is something that I'm doing kind of new this year. And so I created this spreadsheet that they'll be able to type in their GPA each week, and it will automatically graph their GPA for them. And then it'll show them kind of like trends. And then as they go on and they enter in their GPA each week, once we get to calculating GPAs, they'll see an interesting trend, and they'll maybe be able to understand why their grades are trending up or trending down. So this is also a place where we're going to track their goals. So once they fill out their SMART goal form for the week, they're going to write it in here. So it's sort of like their copy of it. And then at the end of the week, they can put a Y or an N, or typically we come back to this at the beginning of the next week. So we check in with our previous week's goal and then write another goal. Another document in here is another form called GPA SMART Goal. So this is, it's the same thing as the SMART Goal worksheet. It's a little bit simplified because this comes later in the quarter. So they've kind of got the SMART goal down, but it includes calculating their GPAs. So it includes most of the questions relate to missing assignments, so just to get them thinking about what they need to do. And then also a GPA scale. And then for the first several weeks, I walk them through the process of calculating their GPA by converting their letters into these numbers, adding them all up, and then dividing by the number of classes that are currently showing grades. That is a tricky one for them to get the hang of. And then we are figuring out their number for GPA, and then writing down their SMART goal, and checking in with their last week's goal. So this is kind of like the more advanced version. I probably will start this one in maybe 2 more weeks once they really have SMART goals, once they're starting to grasp them. Although I find with 7th graders, it's a year-long thing of re-explaining how to write a specific goal and how to make sure that it's attainable in a week's time. So then the last document here is a GPA calculator. So I created this because you know, you always have a student or two that calculating their GPA can just take up the entire class time for them. So that is not the point of this activity. If they need to just enter in their grade and then convert them to numbers and then automatically have it calculate their GPA, I say that's better than nothing. All right, so hopefully that was helpful. And if you have any questions about any of these materials, feel free to reach out. Bye.